Hey guys, I'm Josh Filmon, number 24 for the Swift Current Broncos, and I'm coming on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hey guys, Hvidston here, number 21 on the Swift Current Broncos, and I'm coming on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
It's Wyrostok here, number 19 on the Swift Current Broncos. I'm coming on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Looking for the most beers on tap? Great steaks, great staff? Head over to the John B. Pub.
We got the best beers, steaks, chicken wings, nachos in town. Come see us at the John B. Pub.
The John B. Pub, the best bar in town. Come sign up for our football pool. Say Hayes sent you.
Turn it up. The number one sports podcast in Vancouver with Ryan Hayes and Big Mike.
Ryan Hayes and Big Mike. I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Taking over the podcast scene in Vancouver. Get down or lay down. Lay down. Lay down.
We got a fight down at the other end. Caleb Wyrostok dropping the gloves at center ice as he throws some big rights, some heavy punches being thrown at center ice. Wyrostok throwing the majority of them. As Polshikov as they'll line up again. And finally, puck is dropped. Polshikov, and now we got a fight as Wyrostok's going to go with Landon Roberts. This is definitely retaliation for the hit on Ridley Gregg as Wyrostok and Roberts go at it at center ice. Wyrostok trying to come over the top with some right hands as Landon Roberts' helmet flies off. Big rights from Wyrostok as they still go toe-to-toe at center ice. Wyrostok with some heavy right hand on Landon Roberts as they finally go stock at center. Listen to this crowd.
Hvidston. Here's Hvidston, a shot, he scores.
Stayed in the weak king end of the ice, and then just a little bit of mistakes here and there resulted in the scoring chance, and Hvidston just puts the puck to the net and finds the mark, and the Broncos walk away with the victory tonight.
Triples on the year, and he's got a chance to tie it with 8:50 to go here in the first period. Ethan Kruger in the shootout has stopped 2 of 3 so far this season. Here comes Filmon up on the left wing, in, shoots, and he scores.
Can't find his teammate Bernie. Now Filmon locates into the Calgary zone. Tips by Galloway. Break to the net. The deke, and he scores. A backhand beauty from Josh Filmon is in the top corner.
Has been very effective in this game. Shot scores right off the draw. Josh Filmon.
Long shot, picked off the end wall. Pelche, centering feed for Filmon. They score.
Down to the goal line, Braden Lewis backhand centering pass, scores! Van Egger will drop it off. Broncos with numbers. Connor Hvidston scores! Hvidston in the slot. Fires, he scores! Will lay it in deep and give chase. Davies now centers in front of the goal. Hvidston scores!
If anyone knows a good prospect, it's Vancouver's Ryan Hayes and Big Mike.
All right, we'll get started then here. We'll start with Caleb. So Caleb, born in Medicine Hat, If my stats are correct, can you give us a little about your hockey story, kind of when you started, where you started, and now where you've ended up, obviously?
Yeah, probably started playing hockey when I was 5 or 6 years old. Played in Medicine Hat minor hockey all the way up until my second year Bantam, and then I went and played Elite 15s up in Edmonton at NAX, and then stayed there the following year, played midget prep up there, and then last year was my first year in the WHL Swift Current, played in the bubble, which is a cool experience, different experience, and then obviously this year is a normal full year, and I've played 46 games this year, so it's been good.
Sweet. And same question for Josh, born in Winnipeg. Can you give us a little bit of your hockey story?
Yeah, I was, typical kid just growing up playing at my local community center in Winnipeg. Started playing competitive hockey when I was probably 5 or 6. And then once we got up into like the more competitive stuff, AAA, AA, I played 1 year of Winnipeg City AAA with the Winnipeg Monarchs, won a city championship with them. And then I played 2 full seasons, and then 1 COVID year with the Rink Hockey Academy out of Winnipeg. And then last year I jumped up with Swift in the WHL for my first year.
Sweet. And Connor, same thing for you, bud. Born in Tisdale, Saskatchewan. Can you give us your hockey story?
Yeah, I grew up playing in a small town, and up until Bantam, I think I played, all my years in Tisdale, around Tisdale, and then moved to Yorkton to play AAA for 2 years, and then made it to the WHL this year. So
sweet.
And same question, or for all you guys, I mean, did you play any other sports growing up, and did you excel at anything else?
I played baseball, and then it was kind of different, but I played badminton. So I played baseball all the way up until I was like 14, 15 years old. And then everybody was a bit better at that sport than me. So I quit that. And then I played badminton all the way through middle school and high school, and won a couple provincial championships in that. So that was kind of my other go-to sport, I guess.
That's pretty unique, actually, but I guess you would have got some hand-eye coordination there.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. It was so much fun. Still play it occasionally with some of my buddies, but not competitive anymore. So
go ahead.
I played baseball too, growing up all the way until last year, but I don't think I'll continue with it. And then I also played badminton just through school, all my growing up in high school. So
okay.
Yeah, I played so baseball as well competitively since I was about 8, and then I still do. Actually, I won a provincial championship last year in the Winnipeg Midget League. And then just pretty much every school sport, like volleyball, badminton, basketball, that sort of thing, golf in the summers. So sort of just my main hobby, I guess, is, give me a sport, I'll play it.
Sweet.
Good Canadian kid.
That's right. And for all you guys, any nicknames, and what's your favorite jersey number and why?
My nickname's Wyro. Comes from my last name. And then favorite jersey number would probably be number 11. I grew up that was my first ever hockey number, and then I had that number all the way up until I moved to Edmonton to play 15s there. So I had that number 11 for a while, and it's kind of stuck with me. So
sweet.
Go ahead.
Yeah, they call me Viddy or Hivy, or I have a couple other ones, and then what's the second part?
Favorite jersey number.
Oh yeah, 21. I've been 21 for the last couple of years, so just sticking with it.
People call me Phil. That's pretty standard for me. And then for favorite number, I guess it would also be 21. I don't have it this year because Connor took it from me, but my brother and I always wear the same number growing up in our sports, and he's a pretty big role model for me. So haven't gone too far from that, other than if I've been forced to.
What's one aspect of your game you're looking to improve on?
I would say probably, I feel like you can always work on your D zone play. obviously offense is kind of, you can be creative and stuff like that, but D zone, you kind of got to stick to more structure. And I feel like at any level, you can always build on your D zone like skill and your play on the wall and stuff like that. So that's probably one of my biggest things.
Yeah, I agree. The D zone as well, just like learning the structures of a centerman at a higher level. And then my physicality too. I'm a bigger guy and I don't throw around my body very much. So
I'd say physicality and puck protection. I'm probably more of a run and gun skill guy off the rush, power play, that sort of thing. And I think if I could learn how to play with more puck possession and win battles like puck retrievals on the forecheck, could be more effective at higher levels.
You gotta get Davies to teach you some hitting there.
Yeah. I mean, if I had the frame like he did, I'm sure I'd be a little bit better at it. But
yeah,
fortunately, I don't.
And who would you guys say you kind of like mirror your game after, try and play like?
In the NHL, I'd probably say Brad Marchand. The past like 3 or 4 years, my Pelly minutes have always been higher than everyone else's, and that's kind of the way I play now. That kind of gritty style of hockey where try to get under the other team's skin and stuff, so that we can have power plays and kind of put my team ahead that way. So it's probably my guy I'd model my game after.
Perfect.
Hopefully you're not licking faces though.
No licking faces.
I like Marchand. That's how I play in beer league. I'm out there smacking people and throwing hips, and the only guy there 40 years old throwing hip checks on other people.
It's a very effective way to play for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say Hayes from Philly. I think he's a big centerman, can skate well, good shot. So
good one.
Mine would probably be Kyle Connor on the Winnipeg Jets. I've turned into a pretty good goal scorer this year for the Broncos, I guess. Like slashing winger.
Yeah, he's on fire this year too. Hell of a player.
Yeah, tough to consider yourself or compare yourself to 40 goal scorer in the NHL, but that's sort of the style I guess that I'm trying.
It's coming.
I always thought I was gonna be like Pavel Bure.
Now he's playing Div 10.
Yeah.
For all you guys as well, do you guys have any pregame rituals or routines? Give you a couple examples we've had. We had one guy that blew up a balloon with a straw to get his lungs going before a game, kind of weird. We've got a couple players that ate bananas in between every period. We have guys that switch their laces. We have guys that pray before games. Anything like that?
I don't think anything crazy. The only thing I pretty much keep the same every game is I always drink my coffee first and then my BioSteel hydration mix and then take a scoop of pre-workout. So that's what I do to stay consistent, I guess.
Right on.
Yeah, nothing crazy with me either. I head up to the stands to tape my stick every game and then have a cup of coffee before warm-ups.
I'm usually pretty loose. I don't like to get dialed in too early, so I usually play soccer for about an hour and then straight to the pre-workout and on the ice.
Okay.
And do you have any hidden talents?
He's a badminton superstar. What do you mean?
Yeah, okay. I was
gonna
ask what your hobbies were, but obviously badminton. But
I don't know if I have any hidden talents. I don't think I have anything outrageous that I would say is.
You got nothing either.
Yeah, no, nothing I can think of.
Okay. And we'll start off with Caleb here. Drafted 197th overall in 2018. What was draft day like for you then? And were you expecting to go to the Broncos?
No, I wasn't expecting to be drafted at all, honestly. I had no expectation for myself. Just playing in Medicine Hat, I wasn't really exposed to any, I guess, super high level of hockey other than the hockey there. I was at school and my buddy actually came in from another class, got in trouble from my teacher and yelled in the room that I just got drafted in the 9th round by Swift Currents. So I went on my phone and checked that, and I guess it was a pretty cool experience considering I hadn't actually talked to any WHL team before that. So it's kind of out of the blue, but no, it was an awesome day for sure.
Sweet.
And Josh, for you, 67th overall in 2019. Can you give us draft day for you?
Yeah, like I said, I played at Rink Hockey Academy, so I think we ended up having like 8 guys from my Bantam team drafted to the Western League. I actually was, before I got drafted, I was in my head it was between like 2 or 3 teams that have sort of shown the most interest. Swift Current was definitely one of them. So after I went to school with a buddy of mine, his name's Sam Court, and he was drafted around before me by Swift Current, and I was sitting right beside him for the whole lunch hour. So that was a pretty cool experience.
Okay. And Connor drafted 133rd overall in 2019. Tell me your draft experience.
Yeah, so I was in the middle of a school badminton tournament when I was drafted, and one of my buddies' dad yelled out that I was drafted, so that was pretty cool. I don't know,
Sweet.
Kind of unique, but
absolutely.
Did you end up winning that game?
No, I didn't. It's probably why I gave up badminton.
Yeah. Okay, I got one. If you were an animal, what would you be?
I'd probably be an eagle. I don't know. I feel like it'd be pretty cool to fly wherever you wanted. It's not really any limits when you're that type of bird. You can kind of go wherever. So I feel like that'd be pretty cool.
You go. Potentially a soft answer, but I'd probably say golden retriever.
Good one.
I like to think I'm pretty smart. Maybe my teammates would disagree, but I get that. And the other thing, I think I'm pretty good with people, pretty comfortable, pretty talkative.
Good one. Smart animal.
I'd say a shark. It's pretty cool animal. Breathe underwater. It's kind of cool. Swim fast. So
my answer for that is always a dolphin, because I look like a dolphin because I got like no hair and a nose.
For all three of you guys, take us back to your first WHL goal, and do you still have the puck?
Yeah, mine was, I think I signed in May of my 15s year, and then that next year in December, I made my WHL debut in Edmonton against the Oil Kings, and I was actually lucky enough to score in my first game, so that was pretty cool. And then I actually got the puck framed with a picture from that game, so it's something I take everywhere, which is pretty neat.
And so that would have been in the NHL rink, right?
Yeah, that was in Rogers.
Yeah, that's pretty good first game, first goal situation there.
Yeah, no, it wasn't bad. It was awesome, man.
Yeah.
Mine was this year in Medhat, I guess, a couple months ago. Just coming down the side and squeaked one through the goalie. Wasn't anything spectacular, I still got the puck in my bedroom.
Hey, they don't ever ask how, it's how many.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, mine was in the bubble last year. It was against Saskatoon. I still got the puck back in my room at home in Winnipeg. I think it was like a face-off play where like it came right to me off the face-off, and I just shot it, and it went through like 5 guys, and ended up being I think the go-ahead goal for that game. We ended up losing, but it was a pretty cool experience.
Sweet. And this one's for Josh. What was it like competing in that Top Prospects game?
It was a pretty cool experience. What like my overall impression was just like coming home from that. It was the most I've ever they made you feel like NHLers, which was pretty cool. And obviously, I don't know if you know, but in Kitchener they have a super old rink that they've done lots of renovations on, so it's pretty unique. And on top of that, probably the biggest crowd I've ever played in front of. So having all the cameras and, people trying to make your experience at an event like that, the best it can be was pretty cool.
Sweet.
If you were having a dream dinner party and you could sit down for dinner with any 3 people dead or alive, who would you want to sit down for dinner with?
I'd probably say.
Want my examples first?
Yeah, when you guys go.
My examples, I always go with Seth Rogen, Tupac, and then Paulina Gretzky.
Yeah. You guys know? I know what I would.
Go for it, yeah.
I'd probably say for sure Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And then Adam Sandler and LeBron James.
Nice.
I think, just like the two, questionably two of the greatest athletes of all time. And both were just like extreme nerds of like winning. You look at like the way LeBron can still compete and dominate the way he does at however old he is. What is he, 37?
Yeah, 37, yeah.
And the way that he's maintained his body, and then the same thing with Brady. And on top of that, both those guys have actually grown their name in terms of a business standpoint too. So that's pretty cool.
And then Adam Sandler, of course, Happy Gilmore. Like,
who wouldn't want to hang out with Adam Sandler?
Yeah, right? I'd love to hang out with Happy Gilmore.
He's still repping the N one shorts too.
Yeah.
My three would probably be Jim Carrey, Juice WRLD the rapper, and then probably Mike Tyson.
Okay, sweet, good lineup too.
Yeah, I'm gonna copy Philly here and say Adam Sandler, and then I'd go Wayne Gretzky and Snoop Dogg.
Nice. The goat. Might as well sit down with Wayne Gretzky. I mean,
I'd love to sit down with Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
And for all you guys, I know you guys haven't played in every rink yet in the dub, but you guys got to move around a bit this year at least. What's been your favorite road barn?
I'd probably still go with the rink I played my first game in, Rogers. I mean, it's one of probably the best NHL rink you can play in. So playing in there as a WHL player is pretty neat, I think.
Yeah, I'd probably have to say, well, you never like to give it to a division sort of rival, but I'd probably say Regina. Scored my first goal in that building, and every time we've played there this year, there seems to be some electric crowds. So
they're all there to see Bedard.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's it like? Well, okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I'd say either Red Deer or Regina. They have super nice rinks and usually good crowds, so it's always great to play there.
What's it like playing against Bedard?
Not fun.
Yeah,
Not fun.
It's not great if you're defending. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet. Mike?
Yeah. And do you guys have a go-to celly?
I'd probably say the one that I used for my my first goal is a little stick twirl, put the sword away. It's probably my go-to.
Nice.
You're a no celly guy.
Yeah,
so.
I'm a no sally guy. I don't think I've ever sallied this year, so got to work on that part.
Mine would probably be a big fist bump. You know, just love it, get excited, celebrate my team. Big fist bump.
I'm still celebrating in beer league. I'm out there doing the Yager salute, and then you can't see me, John Cena.
Yeah.
Yeah, doing that in beer league in front of the other team's bench. They hate me.
I know some teams do like a rookie idol or like a rookie initiation. You got to sing in front of the whole team. If you guys had to do that, what song are you singing?
I definitely have to go with Wildest Dreams by Taylor Swift. I think I know all the lyrics to that song, and I feel like it's a great song to get everyone into. So
I actually think my rookie idol song last year was Fireflies by Owl City. Kind of just really easy to sing.
Okay.
I'd probably say Firework by Katy Perry.
There you go. So you guys do rookie idol too then? Is that like on the long bus trip or what?
Usually the first road trip of the year, yeah.
Okay.
And is there talks of you guys coming out west next year? Because maybe this year it's not going to happen until the playoffs, but
I think next year, yeah. It sounds like it, yeah. If everything goes smooth.
Yeah, then everybody gets back to normal next year.
Yeah.
Good. Because then we Yeah, but then we come out and see them play, right?
Exactly. And what color's you guys' stick tape, and your favorite Gato color?
You know what? I used white stick tape my entire career until like 10 games ago. Switched to black and was having some success with that. So stuck with that. And then I'll probably get hated on for this, but I feel like my favorite Gatorade color is yellow. So
okay.
Nothing wrong with yellow. I like yellow.
Yeah, I'm a white tape guy. I always have been. I don't think I've ever used black tape. So, and I got to go with blue.
White tape guy as well. Favorite Gato color, probably white.
Okay.
If you had a superpower, what would it be?
I'd say reading people's minds.
Good one.
I feel like I could benefit a lot from that.
I'd say teleportation.
Another solid one.
Where would you teleport to then?
I don't know, just around wherever I needed to go.
Yeah. Quicker than Uber.
Yeah, I'd probably say mind reading as well.
Yeah, I'd want mind reading, I think, as well. Unless I was on a date, I kind of wouldn't want to know what she was thinking about me.
But they know whether you pay for the dinner or not.
Yeah,
exactly.
What about favorite sports franchise? And it doesn't have to be hockey.
You can go.
Mine would be the Toronto Blue Jays.
Okay.
Baseball is probably my favorite sport to watch, and I watch a lot of Blue Jays games.
And opening days tomorrow, right?
Yep.
I'd go with the Chicago Blackhawks. Stick with hockey. I've been a fan of theirs for a long time. So,
yeah, I'm a Chicago fan too, but I'd say probably the Raptors when they went on their championship run. I definitely followed them a lot that year, so I think they were pretty neat.
If a scout or GM were to ask, what do you guys bring to the table, or describe your game?
I'd say my skating's probably one of the strongest suits of my game. Like to push off defenders and attack off the rush, power play. And I'd say just sort of a scoring threat.
I'd also have to say my skating is probably one of my stronger parts of my game. And then I think my physicality, it's not so much last year, but it's definitely grown this year. Just like I said, kind of playing gritty, getting under the other team's skin. I'm not necessarily the most skilled guy, but definitely have a really hard work ethic, and will play that kind of net front and down low style type of game. So
yeah, I'm gonna stick with the same. I'll say skating. I feel like today's game is super fast and you need to be fast. So I feel like I'm a pretty effortless skater.
Mike, hit him with the other draft question.
Which one?
Okay. There's $100 bill.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. If there's $100 bill at the bottom of a toilet, $20 bill on the counter, which one are you guys going for?
Is it in the toilet?
It's in the toilet, and you don't know what is in the toilet.
Can I put a glove on?
We'll explain to you after why we're asking this.
I'd say the $100. I mean, I don't have a lot of money in my bank account these days, so 100 could go a long way for some food.
Good call.
You can always wash your hands after too. So
yeah,
I think I'd agree. Probably go for the 100 and see what comes out of it. But
yeah,
I'd say 100. It's like a playoff run. Once you're done with it, and once you've gone for the gold, you can always rest up after and clean up.
That's right. And the reason for that question, it's an actual NHL draft question that you guys will be getting asked. Is the reason for that is it's basically asking, what are you willing to get your hands dirty? So that was the whole point of it. You guys got the answer right.
Yep.
Look at that.
What's a go-to song for you guys, or like a pump-up song before games for you? And who's the DJ there with the Broncos?
Who's the DJ?
It's been a little bit all over the map this year, actually.
Okay.
The two guys that are still on our team now would be Owen Pickering and Raph Pelche. What is the go-to song? No Friends. No Friends in the Industry by Drake. That's a go.
Yeah. Yeah, we had Pickering on, right, Mike?
Yep.
Yeah, I thought so. If you could only eat pancakes or waffles for the rest of your life, which one would you choose?
I'd say waffles. I feel like it's really satisfying filling every square up with syrup. So
I like that.
No, I'm definitely a pancakes guy.
Pancakes are way better.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And what was the chirp? I didn't get to hear it.
We were just laughing at him.
Yeah. Okay.
And deep sea or outer space?
Outer space.
I have to say deep sea.
I agree.
There's so much unexplored in the sea. Like same with space, but I feel like space is so far away, and like I feel like deep sea is literally on our planet. So to see what would be there would be pretty cool.
What about your favorite Halloween costume ever?
When I was a kid, it was I have two brothers, an older one and a younger one. And we had a recycled costume. It was called the Roadkill Chicken. So it's just like a chicken costume, but we had like feathers missing, like a beat up face, twisted beak, that sort of thing. It was kind of funny.
That's awesome.
My costume, I can't remember how old I was when I wore it, but I wore it to school. It was back when I can't remember what year it was, when those killer clowns were a thing going around. Stuff. So I hopped on the trend and got one of those killer clown outfits and the mask, and it definitely I feel like creeped some people out for sure.
Oh yeah. Probably didn't get punched.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably go with like a Batman or Spider-Man, kind of keep it classic. I wasn't too out there with the Halloween costumes, so
I always dress up as Don Cherry and go to Canuck games. Like it's really, really pimped out. I got like 4 different suits and like paint the goatee in white.
He's got blue. He's got the mic.
The dog and the mic.
Wow,
yeah.
That's funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I've been on TV a bunch of times for the Canuck games. I even cranked the siren before the game.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. That was before we had a podcast. And Don Cherry wasn't fired at the time. What's your daily routine look like? What time do you? Go ahead.
Mine is usually get up around like 8:15. Pop my bagels down. I always have 2 bagels in the morning. It's butter. Pop those down, make a coffee, and then head to the rink, and then do a lot of stuff at the rink, like our meetings, practice, workout, stuff like that. And then for the first part of the year after that, I was working on some university courses and completing those. Now I kind of have some free time to do what I want. So
yeah, well, wake up in the morning, usually grab a tea or a coffee from Tim's on my way, and spend a couple hours at the rink with the practice and the rollouts and the workouts and stuff like that. And then today we hit the driving range. It's a super nice day today. Went and hit some balls, and then played some basketball, have supper, and then try work on school here and there.
Yeah, I wake up usually as late as possible. I'm a show and go kind of guy. And then whatever we have to do at the rinks, I practice and then a workout. Try to get some school in here and there. But I like to play a lot of, like during the winter, I go to the golf simulator here a lot. And then just sort of hang out with my billet family.
Are you guys all in the same billet family too?
No.
All separate.
No. Oh, okay.
Are you an early bird or a night owl?
Definitely a night owl for me.
Yeah, 100% night owl.
Yeah.
Yeah, you young guys can do that. By like 9 o'clock, I'm ready for bed. but that's because I wake up every day at 5 a.m.
Yeah, I cannot wake up that early.
Yeah.
Are you guys like coffee? I know you guys all said you kind of like coffee. So is it Timmy's or Starbucks?
Tim's
just
most
ring
of the
coffee?
time, and then Starbucks on game days.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely coffee from Starbucks.
I'm more of a Tim's guy. I'm not as high class with the coffee as these guys.
What about McDonald's coffee? I think McDonald's coffee is just as good.
McDonald's coffee, every time I buy it, is so hot when I get it.
Yeah, that way when you drop it on yourself, it burns you, and then you get to sue for millions of dollars.
Yeah.
What's your personal highlight so far in your career?
I'd probably say winning the Elite 15 championship with my team up in Edmonton, and then probably my first WHL goal. I definitely won't forget that anytime soon. So
Yeah, I've never won a championship or anything growing up, so probably just making it here. But after our first win at home here was a pretty good feeling, so I'll never forget that.
Probably going to the Prospects game this year. That was a cool experience. Definitely won't ever be forgetting that.
Oh, yeah.
I should probably know this, but were you on Shane Wright's team or were you on the opposite team?
I was on Wright's.
Okay. What's it like playing with him then? Did you get any shifts with him or anything like that?
Yeah, it was cool, but it was too bad. Like we switched lines every period. So you couldn't really build up any momentum with certain guys, but in terms of the experience, like getting to play with pretty much every guy, every forward on your team, guys from all across the country. So I played with him in the third. I think we had one really good scoring chance on the power play, but he's a phenomenal player, no doubt. He skates extremely well.
Is there another team that you each have like a group of friends on? Like, what team in the league do you have the most friends on, other than your own team?
I mean, I'm from Winnipeg, like you guys said, and we probably have about, I don't know, like 10 guys from Manitoba on our team. So,
oh, there you go.
Yeah, I kind of have, I guess, from my team in Edmonton, a lot of the guys play in our league now, so I kind of have just buddies here and there on every team. So,
yeah, I agree. Just a couple buddies on a couple separate teams, but I don't think any of them share a team.
Okay. Hey, fellas, I just want to thank you guys all for taking the time for us today and coming on and chat with us. Obviously, we know you guys are going to be going far in hockey, and you have fans in us for life, and we appreciate you taking the time.